whatever kind of action program can be devised to get us the things that are ours by right, then I'm for that kind of action no matter what the action is. I don't think when a man is being criminally treated that some criminal has the right to tell that man what tactics to use to get the criminal off his back.
Real talk, brothers and sisters, as we know, that's the brother Malcolm X. Salute, 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 and other great brothers like him throughout history. May they rest in peace and in power. And the great sisters that were generals of our time, far and near, man, and even those that were current. We have to, appreciate those that are current, brothers and sisters in the world, online, and in our families. Remember, this is a above and beyond thing. And welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, I salute you and thank you. And may that great divine come in our lives and place that gold over our families. May all of us prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. I like to do that. Good energy, man. When we can pay attention to it, because as I like to say, we all get that call. It's just a matter of who's listening and what we have inside to manifest the good things, like Malcolm X and so many others before him, brother or sister, fall through tooth and nail, man, to get so many of us to understand, and overstand. But it takes practice, it takes awareness, it takes studying, reading, researching, connecting to the righteous generals out here. And, we can get a jewel anywhere, family, child, brother, sister, life lesson. But we just got to have that pineal gland open and ready to receive whatever that great divine has for us, that's been there since birth. So it knows everything that we're going to go through, been through. As I like to say, the great divine Mother Nature and that wonderful universe has seen our kind come and go. So, but it's starting to get magnified in our melanated brothers and sisters, because everything stems from melanation. Whether you want to take that with a grain of salt, but everything began with a melanated culture. And I want to give a little salute to Godfrey, the comedian. I love comedy. My son and I, Lord Lamont, salute. We talk about comedy all the time, even though we speak on deep things and ways of the world, R&B, hip hop, and he'll speak on his life, and I'll speak on mine. I speak on my family's. Just have a good old father and son discussion. But his name came up. And a lot of lists that we do, for those, the viewers, the listeners, we don't name names. It don't mean we don't, don't like comedians. It's just we didn't speak on them. But if you listen to different podcasts my son and I did, you'll hear different names like Godfrey, Sadiq, Sinbad, Cat Williams, all the greats. Let me see, Chico Bean, Carlos, Young DC Fly. The list goes on and on. D-Ray. It's a lot of them. It's so many great comedians. Corey Holcomb, if I said his name right, who just straight up raw. But it's many, to the Eddie Murphys, to the even Eddie Murphy's brother, Charlie Murphy, of course, Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney. It goes on and on. So we could talk about comedy forever, as well as hip hop. There's so many artists. So, because my son and I, we like to speak on them intellectually and break them down and where they came from. And we like to focus on behaviors of artists and comedians. It's wonderful to do, And of course, laugh. But back to Godfrey. He was speaking on Michael Jackson, and I guess he had a recent birthday. I don't know. I'm not sure when, but salute to Michael. And I spoke on him too. And salute to Godfrey, which is one of my favorite comedians, and my son, Lord Lamont. And he spoke very, very passionate of Mike. And I agree with everything he said. Because Michael Jackson is definitely one of the greatest artists of all times. Nobody to today can reach that bar. I'm sorry. So I agree with him, because I did a podcast also about Michael Jackson with the cover. He even spoke on it, Godfrey, where he was in the white suit in the black album. I can't remember what the name of that album was, but I actually got it. I have 75 original albums that my mom gave me. Salute to my mom, my family too. Salute. And I got all the original albums. Prince, I got all of them. I even got the original album with Eddie Murphy, Raw. The original Richard Pryor album. I got that. My mom gave them to me. And my mom, I swear, she keeps everything, from throughout the years. So I see why Godfrey was so passionate about Michael, because He was, man, he was phenomenal. He was before his time, and just think, many other great brothers and sisters like him. And like Godfrey said, we're speaking before social media. So just ponder that. That's powerful. How much work the artists before social media. We talk about the raw artists. He spoke on James Brown too, the James Browns and the Sam Cooks. We talk about them. Just think of the work they put in before social media. So I'll always speak on music, R&B, hip hop, because I love music. I love hip hop to the pit of my soul. I love it. That's why I like to dissect it and get to know the artists and stuff like that. Like I said, learning can be fun to the mental. So salute to Godfrey. I enjoyed that. And he was very, very passionate about Mike, which is very iconic. And Mike was a good-hearted person. It can be like Tupac said. It's hard to be an angel when you're surrounded by devils. All right, so I want to sum that up. I just want to throw that out there, a little salute to Godfrey, which is one of my, like I said, my son and I, Laura Lamont, favorite comedians, as well as many others, and that's male or female. So, and there'll be other father and son discussions, but we'll speak on comedians, of course, hip hop, and we'll come up with ideas, and and as me and him plow through our challenges, we'll come together and speak and share it to the world. As my cousin L'Oreal Lyrical, salute. She said, Eric, you need to share your gifts. God give us gifts sometimes to share them. But let's get to the topic, brothers and sisters, and salute to Malcolm X, what I had speaking in the beginning. And you'll hear Malcolm X on this channel a lot. So, because I've studied him, I've done papers on him, and I've kind of followed along. I think his wife was Betty Shabazz, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but I think it was Betty Shabazz. Then you had Atala Shabazz, which was his daughter. And if I'm not mistaken, his other daughter was Malachi or Micaiah, something like that. Forgive me if that's wrong, but she's passed away. Rest in peace and in power. And I like studying things like that, getting to know the real Malcolm because he faced the world, but he didn't bring it home. That's some balance. That was a brother of balance, So those are things that we can learn from. And that's brother, sister, male, female. I so thank him and any others that was like him, that left that righteous, on fire, fight back mentality, and still have respect, because that was his core. His whole thing was about respect. Because if you let others or entities around us disrespect us, then we don't respect ourselves. That was his thing. Oppressors, person, place, thing. We're going to break it down, because we treat life like a noun, Because oppressors can be more than evil entities around, of the world, that the so-called matrix, whatever you want to call it. People who are in an illusion of power, because great divine holds that power overall. And I think we're seeing that. I think more and more as the years go by, the generations, as the great divine Mother Nature and the universe get tired of the bull, we're going to see more and more of that to come. And I'll even go back to what old George Carlin said. He said he wished he could be alive to see it all go down. Because everything that's happening is what he talked about. He was like this eagle on my banner here. That's how we got to be, like this eagle on my banner, and fly above all the petty shit and see this world for what it really is, and tap into our creative selves, my melanated brothers and sisters, and be creative with our children. Outthink this youth, We were here before them, even though a lot of them are more intelligent, but still, we got something in us that's a great commodity, and that's being wise. When you wise, man, you can't miss. Integrity, you can't miss, because if one has integrity, you'll automatically connect to that God spirit deep within, like Brother Malcolm X I had speaking. And I'm gonna let him speak some more about oppressors, person, place, thing. Because again, it can be more than just evil entities around us that call itself manipulating things and manipulating the mass and all that good stuff that we always talk about. It ain't good stuff. It's terrible stuff. So anytime you messing with somebody's mind, it's not funny, because where the mind goes, the body goes. So, but it's more than that. Anything can be an oppressor. A job can be an oppressor. Maybe toxic individuals sometimes around us, can be oppressors. Whatever that's holding us back and not letting us flourish and grow. That's our oppressor. So that's why I say a broad stroke. That's how we got to look at this life. That's why I always say ultimate peace in our part of the world, wherever part of the world we are. Because I try to keep, and I'm sure a lot of us do this, got to think big. I got to see beyond our little spaces we in. Because the so-called entities will keep us in that space. So we won't see the power that a lot of us, some of us don't even know that we carry deep within, and we listen to people like Malcolm X, he'll bring it up out of you. If you feel it in your soul, comprehension is a beautiful thing, but it can take a lifetime to finally get to a space of awareness. I can attest to that. But if you get to a space where we got, somewhat of a life ahead of us, be thankful, and be thankful that we did make the changes and fixed our mistakes along the way. Because that's the most important thing in the whole wide world is learning, man, so we can grow. Right, generals? So remember, oppressors, person, place, thing. Could be anything, It's all how we are as an individual within, what we letting oppress us. Because as Malcolm said, you hear me say this from time to time, a lot. The conditioning that Malcolm X said that so many of us either been under or are under. It's just a way of thinking, what we're used to, That's the trick, the old saying goes, the trick of the devil is to make us think that it doesn't exist. So ponder that. You could take that in many ways, but that's kind of like what it is, Like, in other words, and I'm just using that as an example because, I know that's kind of religious and everybody had their different views on negative entities or devil and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, when one doesn't want to take accountability, and this could be high status or low status, or a narcissist, that's even worse, especially a narcissist in power. And that seems to always happen, just in my opinion. It'll always be some narcissist that somehow gets a hold of major power and has the mass under control, whether it's a million or a few. I've noticed that over time in history, but a lot of brothers and sisters are rising up. I have to say rising up now more than ever, because I know we have bad things with social media, but we also have some good things. There are brothers and sisters that use social media for the right reasons and some good reasons, and a lot have bettered their lives, because of social media. But again, it goes back to what I said about the example about the devil. The biggest trick is to make you think that it doesn't exist. So in other words, if we are of integrity as a man or woman, brother or sister, and we do have somewhat of awareness, certain things we shouldn't be indulging in. We can't justify it or make excuses. That was kind of a lesson for me, so excuses, life don't give a damn how we feel, and we all know when something ain't right in our gut. Now that's facts. I don't care who we are. We all get that we all get that. And I meant to say I kind of messed it up. But yeah, we all get that. It's just a matter of listening to it, and learning from it. And don't get stuck in the what? The woulda, coulda, shouldas. And know what our oppressors are and who our oppressors are. It's very important. Person, place, thing. So I'm going to pass it on over to Malcolm X, and I'll be back to I actually want to speak on Tyrese. In the movie he played, that Tyrese was my hero in this movie. Him and Terrence Howard. And I'm going to speak on that when I come back. And the title of the movie is The System. And his name was Savage in the movie. And Terrence Howard's name was OG. And it was good. I'm going to speak on that. Because it relates to the times. And I liked seeing Tyrese in that light, as a hero. And I'll just kind of skim through it and speak on the movie a little bit. And I think those who are listening, I think you'll enjoy what I have to say about Brother Tyrese, because he's fought off a lot of adversity. He's man. So he's still standing, he's firm today. He hasn't been, he crying good. I'm telling you, a brother that's able to cry and still stand strong and have integrity, that's a man. That's strong. That's gangster. That's a real gangster. You know what I'm saying? And can take what he got to do and keep on pushing. So I salute Tyrese from that. The brother that The brother that was on the bus singing. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? The Pepsi commercial, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna let the great brother Malcolm X, take it from here, and I'll be back.
When a criminal starts misusing me, I am going to use whatever is necessary to get that criminal off my back. And the injustice that has been inflicted upon Negroes in this country by Uncle Sam is criminal. Don't blame a cracker in Georgia for your injustices. The government is responsible for the injustices. The government can bring these injustices to halt. And what you and I have to let the man know is we are peaceful people. We're loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us. We're nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us. But we are not nonviolent with anyone who is violent with us. But when someone attacks you, when someone comes at you with a club, when someone comes at you with a rope, when someone comes at you with a gun, despite the fact that you've done nothing, he tells you, suffer peacefully.
Wow. And I have to say, brothers and sisters, that's one of those hard pills. And I have to quote Brother Kwaku. Brother Kwaku speaks on this. This is a brother that has a platform I listen to, and another brother, Lance Scurv. Actually, that's how I ran upon, or heard him speak. Brother Kwaku was on Lance Scurv platform, and he speaks on that. And that's kind of, see, that goes back to that example I said about the devil. The biggest trick is, making you, manipulating you, thinking that it doesn't exist. In other words, in that, like Christianity, you really have to pick through the Bible and some of that stuff and really pick that truth out of there and not get so lost in it and so mesmerized and like we floating on this cloud and really like, because I haven't read the whole Bible, I can't say I have, but I've kind of read some of the pages and sift through it, and you become more aware of oneself, and not just listen to the pastor, and do it for oneself and really listen to that guy we say that we want to listen to. We'll see the real truth, even through some of them words in that Bible, So that was one of the tricks, as he said, suffer peacefully. That's one of the tricks in that Christianity. It made not all brothers, but it made some brothers docile. It wasn't, God is not a docile God. God is a tough God. God is a vigorous God. God can change a whole world in a finger snap. Great divine. I always like to use that example, that the great divine, the world is like a grain of sand to that great divine. That's how I think it is. I don't ever put something that great and that created me in a small space like that. Are you kidding me? They say, I think a lot of teachers say this, but it's like God's power is like getting too close to the sun. We would never be able to see the full glory of that great divine. So some of these little tricks and stuff they do, it's just my opinion now that's in this Bible. You have to be careful, because some of it can make you docile. No, we come from some warriors. We come from some gladiators. Real talk. We become before all the other stuff. We was all the other stuff that came along. We were the warriors. We were the gladiators. But we also were civilized people. We were a proud people. We were respectful, caring, loving. We were in harmony. And then something came along. Just had to pick and pride and just couldn't understand. And had to come in. And all it takes is one docile brother or sister to mess up the whole village. And that's what I'm saying. See, that's the part of that Bible that we have to be careful about. And that's just one's opinion. Because I come up through Christianity too. But like I said, God is not a docile God. That great, great divine is not something soft or small. No. Every righteous brother or sister that's not hurting no one, like my brother Malcolm X was speaking on, has a right to defend themselves. If they're in the right and they're not intentionally hurting no one. That's a God-given right. Have the right to defend themselves. Of course, no one wants to be violent, but as the saying I like to use, I like to take from Eddie Murphy. He said in one of his skits, every now and then you got to whoop somebody's ass just to let them know where we stand. But it's unfortunate it even has to get to that point. We have our disagrees to agree, and A lot of times if we step back as brother or sister and really get to know an individual, and I'm not saying those who are toxic and, they trying to sabotage your life. Now, of course, we have to distance ourselves from them. But those that are not aware, just not paying attention to how they behave. Because I've been there too. You can be trapped in some kind of behavior, and that could be brother, sister, and just don't realize it. And it takes someone to tell that truth and on fire and not docile. It's willing to bring that truth up out of us. So that's what I get from what Malcolm X was speaking on. And I actually heard a brother speaking on this recently, on the platform. How, it's unfortunate. That's why I say tough love. I spoke on that on the unconditional love. Where I spoke on a longtime friend, my sister Stacy, and but you have to have tough love because those have to learn. Because it's unfortunate, but some people, not all now, people can be something else. People, human the toxic part of human nature, man, can be undermining, manipulative, take your kindness for weakness, and that's something I like to study. Like, what is it about, whether it's high status, low status, someone of power, what is it about them what is it that triggers in them that makes them want to do a person that's kind wrong? What is that? I always wondered that. It's like some individuals can't help themselves. They just, they're nice, whether it's a brother or sister. Like, oh man, and right away, it's something that triggers in them. They say, I got to get over on this person. This person ain't that kind. I got to corrupt them. It's weird. Instead of getting with them and learning from one another and rising and building generals. That's what we should be about. But like Malcolm X said, see how aggressive? I love the aggressive on fire Malcolm X. And guess what, folks? He never took that home with him. He was never one of those brothers that went home and took it out on his kids or his wife. That took some power and some endurance and some integrity. And Atala Shabazz, that's exactly what she said. He was a loving father. He was fun. He was all the things that a human being should be. Like I said, a brother of balance. So, and there are many other great brothers just like him, even current right now today. You just got to be in the right circles. We'll know who they are. Now, I wanted to speak on. Now, we're still speaking on oppressors, person, place, thing. Now, I want to speak on that movie I was talking about Tyrese. Excuse me. My little nose was running today. I guess a little cold trying to kick in. I drank some orange juice. But this was on my spirit. I actually did this earlier, and I couldn't upload it, but I had to speak on it. Because I wanted to give Tyrese a salute and Terrence Howard. They played in this movie called The System, and they both were in prison. And then when the movie first started out, and salute to Tyrese, he kicked ass in this movie. He kicked ass in this movie, even though I didn't like seeing him fight brothers. But they made up for that towards the end of the movie, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to kind of skim through it and tell little parts of the movie. But salute to them brothers. Terrence Howard, he played a guy that knew martial arts from his father or something like that, and he taught Tyrese. Because in the beginning of the movie, Tyrese is kicking ass. I think he's robbing the dope house. He's like an ex-Marine, and he felt like thrown away, like he fought for his country, and so I don't know why he was robbing this dope house, and he kicking the dude's ass and everything. He was gonna take the money, but he ended up getting caught, and the feds came in and got him, and he went to prison, and the warden was corrupt. The warden was corrupt, and he had this thing called the dungeon, and the movie was called The System, and I liked it because I don't watch TV all the time, and when I do, I try to that I watch things that intrigue me. So when I seen that word, The System, of course I was gonna watch it and check it out. And it had Terrence Howard and Tyrese in it, because I like seeing Tyrese play the hero more, kind of, and Terrence Howard and Tyrese. And there was some other good brothers in there too. Everybody did a good job in that movie. You had the guards, the white guards, they played their part, and the warden played his part. He was corrupt, and I can't remember everybody's name, but all the brothers in there. I love seeing brothers doing martial arts. That was, man, it's amazing. And also not just martial arts, but just knowing raw fighting skills. That's dope too. So they showed a little bit of different flavors of fighting in the movie, and it was mostly black guys, and I enjoyed that. And they showed I think they had like Mexican, Then it showed an Asian cat that was fighting in there. So it was different nationalities, but it was a nice blend in that movie. It was good, and it didn't seem like a Hollywood movie to me. You can tell it was maybe kind of low budget, but very well made and very, great acting. But Tyrese kicked ass. If anybody see it, Tyrese is my hero. So in the movie, Terrence Howard plays a guy, call him OG in the movie, and he knew martial arts. And so when Tyrese went to jail, he had to fight in this thing called the dungeon. The warden was corrupt, and only way you can get free or get out or get favors, you had to fight in this dungeon. So Terrence Howard but taught him sharp skills and how to fight and all that stuff, and kind of sharpened up his skills because he was an ex-Marine. He already knew how to fight anyway. And I think a lot of the other prisoners were ex-Marines or something like that, because that's what the warden specialized in. He smoked a big cigar and he talked. The warden, the dude that played the warden, he was off the chain. I mean, he played it to a T. He talked crap to the prisoners and, hey, buddy, what's the matter? While he carrying around a glow rod that'll sting you. It was like a nightstick, but it had a sting. It was like a giant stun gun, more or less. And he would carry around while he talked crap to the prisoners when he had them come to their office. But anyway, he had Tyrese, which name was Savage in the movie, and he got him in this dungeon, and he beat the Asian guy, he beat the Mexican guy, and I think one other brother he beat, and then he had to fight this top dog. Of course, they had scenes in there where he kicked ass, where these dudes tried to take him out into prison. They're gonna have a good prison fight scene, and these two dudes was trying to kill him, and Terrence Howard jumped in and helped. And Terrence Howard did some cold moves in there. Salute to Terrence Howard. He played the heck out of his role, and they were cellmates. And it was a wonderful movie. So Terrence helped him, and they became friends. And it's this one dude in there. He was cold. He was almost like a black Bruce Lee. His name was Freeway in the movie, and he was one of the martial artists. Like, he could blend all styles. That was his specialty in the movie, kind of like Bruce Lee. So, and he had beat everybody, and Tyrese had to fight him. And of course, Tyrese, you know how the movie gonna go. He ended up beating him, but so Tyrese, and they called Freeway top dog, the guy Tyrese had to fight, which character was Savage. And so Tyrese, or Savage, we'll call him Savage, which is Tyrese, and he beat Freeway. So Freeway was top dog, so he beat him. So now Savage was top dog, which was Tyrese. And now everybody showed him respect. We walked in the lunchroom with his little lunch tray. Somebody put a milk on this tray. It was him and Terrence Howard. They were walking through the child room. They call it, because they said, line it up for child. I've been in prison. I know how I go. Yes, EBX have been in prison, but it was just minimum. It was joy riding in the car. It was stupid back in my dumb days. But I know what they say, line it up for child, lock up for child. I know what that, walk it up, line it up, and shut it up. Yep, I remember that, because they used to have us walk in pairs, like the army. Yep, I remember that. So I can relate to that, and that's something Ali Sadiq, salute to Ali Sadiq, one of my favorite comedians, and my son, Lord Lamont, salute. He talked about prison a lot, so I can definitely relate to that. But anyway, they were walking through the child hall, which is the lunchroom, and Tyrese, which was Savage, was carrying his tray. Terrence Howard, which was OG, carrying his tray. And when they walked through there, everybody was putting food on their tray. Like, one dude put chips, another dude put milk. And Terrence Howard looked back at Tyrese, which was Savage, and said, they showing you respect, man. So he was top dog of the prison. But what I liked about it, he didn't gloat and like, yeah, I run the prison now. No, he got everybody together and formulated them and turned against the system. That's when I got interested in the movie. I said, oh, okay. It took a different turn, So it was wonderful, and I love seeing Tyrese play that role. I think that was a very, very good role for him. It was nice to see him play a hero role, because I love seeing my brothers and my sisters playing the hero. I take what I can get, And his whole goal in that movie was to get back to his daughter, because I think his daughter had some kind of health issues, because she was in the hospital. And he took one of those tiaras, I think that's what you call it, with the little tiara you put on top of the little princess thing you put on top of your daughter's head. And he would put that on her head. He said, this your superpower. So he would have like glimpse of that when he'd be laying in prison thinking about, the outside. So the glimpse of that would come in his mind. So that's what kept him focus. And Terrence Howard, OG, that's what he would tell him. He said, just focus on your daughter, man. So he fought through this dungeon, and he fought guys while he was in there, and he was mopping, because that was one of his they give you jobs in prison, and his job was to mop. So while he was mopping, the guys trying to attack him, so he went through all kind of crap in the movie. You know how prison movies go. And at the end, of course, it got to his daughter. And Freeway, the guy he had beat up, he was helping turn against the system too. He was fighting. They all turned against the guards and beat up the guards. What they were doing is they were exposing the prison for the inhumane things that the warden was doing. Because, he was treating them like animals. Even though even animals aren't animals. It's just something of nature. But they were treating them like rats, basically. Like they weren't nothing. It was worse than animals to me. So, yeah, so he made the Mexicans, like the whites, the Asians, and Freeway was the leader of the black mafia, and he made all them band together, and they turned against the system. And I thought that was great. So, and it kind of relates to what Malcolm X was speaking on. It's about fighting knowing who the real enemy is, whether it's entities out in the world or social media or somewhere around us. Oppressors, person, place, thing. And I just wanted to speak on that movie because it was good. I really enjoyed it. And it's good to see brothers and sisters be heroes in movie. Now, I wouldn't recommend watching TV all the time, but if you do, watch something that you learn from, something that got a message in it, and I like that, and this movies like that you probably won't hear about a lot. You have to catch them, those underground movies. You'd be surprised. Wesley Snipes made a lot of underground movies. He played a lot of heroes and a lot of underground. I've seen a lot of his underground movies. We all know Wesley Snipes is cold on the screen. So that was just a little salute to Tyrese and Terrence Howard did up. And I think it's an older movie. Might have been 2022. But I really enjoyed it. And the title of it is The System. So it was just wonderful. The only part I wish they would have put in there, I wish Tyrese and like Freeway, because they didn't put it in there. They just showed him. And he had a lawyer girl, which was a sister, that would visit him while he was in there. And she ended up helping him get out of prison. He got a pardon and he got out. And because they actually, when they busted in there, when all the inmates turned against the guards, they caught the warden trying to shoot either Tyrese or Terrence, and they shot him before he got a chance to. So that was their evidence, because they literally caught the warden red-handed. So that's how they exposed the whole prison. So it was wonderful, man. It was a good movie. It really was. So I really liked it. I thought it was worth speaking on. So again, I just wanted to salute Tyrese and Terrence Howard for a wonderful movie. And any other, melanated brothers and sisters that's, sending a message in movies. That's why I salute Eddie Murphy sometimes. Some of his movies may be fun, entertaining. I know he cuss in them a lot and stuff, but some his movies have a message in them. A lot of them. I like that about Eddie. And, I always bring up Holy Man. That'll always be my favorite movie. So he has some really good messages in there. And that was one of his underrated, but I love seeing my brother and sister as a hero. And it ain't got to be on the movie screen. We can be a hero right where we are. So that was just something I wanted to speak on, and just wanted to salute one's family, children, brothers and sisters of the world. Even those who's having a little bit of struggle. Stay with it. And those who are still here, we're here for a reason. So I'm gonna let Malcolm speak a little bit more, brothers and sisters, and I'll be back with some more empowering, uplifting, encouraging words and things, and maybe something to come up in my subconscious, that a solution, man. But if nothing else, be aware of our oppressors. Real talk. Person, place, thing. All right, I'll be back.
Pray for those who use you despitefully. Be long suffering. And how long can you suffer after suffering for 400 years? This disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. Then the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
Yes, I totally agree. But as you know, things change, generations change, and I agree with what he's saying. But as many of us say, can't help those that don't want to help themselves. That's kind of for my sisters. I don't know everything there is about the female. I've had daughters, so that helped a lot. And but if one is not trying to fix themselves and still petty, especially if they're up in age and somewhat wise and healthy, mind, body, and soul, but you refuse to deal with issues within, well, you're going to be suffering at some point in the future. That's whether if you don't deal with issues in our physical life, whether it's our spiritual selves, or trying to control situations, because none of us is above that great divine. I don't care who we are, who we think we are. High status, low status. I stand on that. I always say that. So nothing is more powerful than that force. Again, the great divine has seen one come and go. But you know what? I will still stand with my sisters. I will still respect them. That's why I made that podcast, Unconditional Love, to my sister, Stacy. Because, of course, I've had, toxic experiences with sisters and maybe not so good, but I don't absorb that energy. Because why? We understand at a certain point. But guess what? Sisters would have to understand too. Got a lot of great brothers out here that's very educated about sisters, and a lot of us do know, that what can change them, or we do have solutions. But sisters, and I'm not talking about my good sisters that that know themselves, and you even got some sisters that's out here speaking about sisters getting themselves together. A lot of sisters are waking up to the madness, because I'm telling you, as we say, that's why I say our oppressors could be anything. We could be our own oppressor. Real talk. So I will always stand with my sisters, and I will always understand why they're the way they are. The same way all of us were the way we were. Because of what? What Malcolm X said. That conditioning, brothers and sisters. But I'm telling you, it's like breathing air. When we finally know that our mind has been in prison all this time, and we be like that eagle on my banner, flying above all the crap. Keep flying, brothers and sisters. If you've gotten to a space of awareness and you're educated, if you have children, significant other, and you're keeping your circle strong, stay with it. Don't get to a place of being comfortable. Not that we're edgy and looking for things to happen, but just stay on point so we can be ready for things. So we won't be edgy and paranoid and all that. Because when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, And that's mind, body, and soul. See, hear, and feel. And listen to different brothers and take different views. And it's okay to be wrong. And, it's all about the heart, brothers and sisters, at the end of the day. I don't care what we got on the outside. If our energy ain't right within, it's all for nothing. Again, we're seeing examples of that. And I would like to speak on Hollywood, and I do see in the media what's going on. And I'm not going to speak on it too much because it'll take care of itself. And it's just unfortunate that, Hollywood, that the innocent people have to suffer because of those who are selfish and only cared about themselves. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to make it a big, deep spiritual thing. We could maybe throw Sodom and Gomorrah in there. But is it, we all know the things that go on or went on in Hollywood, so, I mean, it's sad but true. Real talk. So, Mother Nature is going to do what it do. Great divine. Nothing can overpower it. Real talk. And it's other cities, I won't name any, but there has been other cities down through history that God just freaking wiped out. So I'm just going to leave a period in that. But I don't like seeing people get hurt. I don't like it. That's the empathic part of me. I don't like seeing people suffer, because that could be any of us, in those flames and that fire, you know. But I just hope the innocent people that had nothing to do with the people that I'm saying, like the energy of those who been living corrupt for so freaking long, in my opinion, is the reason why things are going awry in Hollywood. So that's just my opinion, though, you know, without getting too deep about it or spiritual. But it's just things that's, I mean, that's one of them things that's in the Bible. I mean, it's kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's one of them things, we know parts of the Bible, you know, it's trickery in there, and some things you have to really pull out that truth. But it's kind of weird how some of it in there is coming true. It's wow. It's amazing, you know. But you just have to be careful about that kind of stuff and just let things happen the way they're going to happen. And, you know, but a lot of us, we have predicted this kind of stuff, and without even trying, effortlessly, you know. But let's call down protection for that great divine, for those who are innocent over there in Hollywood, you know, that don't deserve that what's happening to them, you know, going through that. Again, I don't make light of stuff like that. That's terrible, man. I don't know what I would do, you know. So my much love and energy to the brothers and sisters, the melanated brothers and sisters, and anyone over there that was just trying to live their life and wasn't caught up in, you know, the illusion of Hollywood and just was trying to live in their life. Some people just liked the city and just thought it was beautiful and wanted to live there, you know. Then you had there's those that was following that dark road, you know. So in my opinion, I'm not gonna say anything else and leave it like that. I'm just gonna send a good energy to those over there that didn't deserve that, you know. So, but they're gonna be all right. Watch God move. Real talk. God takes care of the righteous one way or another. You just watch and see. We gotta be confident in that. Be confident in great divine, because great divine is what? The author of patience and time, you know. So that's just something I had in my spirit, and thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion. And I wanted to bring Malcolm in, and this was one of them speeches where he was fired up, and you know, and I salute to my fellow content creators, brother or sister in the world, and maybe I'll say in the world and online, because you got some that's putting that action in the world too, you know. But it's good to speak and communicate and build up other generals, you know. Mind, body, and soul. It's a wonderful thing when we got those in alignment, as well as what? Seeing, hearing, and feeling, you know. Again, we can be our own oppressor, let alone person, place, or thing. So, gotta dissect things and kind of sift through stuff and, you know, make sure we kind of keep ourselves right. And we will see who our oppressors are. So, thank those for coming in, like I said, and look for more music from me, L'Oreal Lyrical. Make sure you rest in peace and in power. And Lord Lamont. I know I keep saying that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I promise. We'll get there. Sometimes you just got to work things out in life and kind of, some things we push, but we don't give up. No, I used to say we push in some areas, you know, as long as it's not hurting ourselves or no one else. But I used to like to say we don't push, but we don't give up, you know. Just got to let that great divine do what it do and just flow naturally. And, you know, give as much teaching and good energy as we can to our family, our children, our generals along the way. Salute to Brother Malcolm X and things I've learned about him and his family, and Atala Shabazz and Malika Shabazz. I think I've been saying her name wrong. Malika Shabazz, man, and Betty Shabazz. You know, much love to them. You know, thank you, Malcolm X. And I never would have thought, you know, when I was, and I'm sure many of us like this, you know, we never would have thought when we was young that we'd be up in our adulthood talking about Malcolm X. And look how long that brother, how long his body hasn't been here, because his spirit's still here. And that's amazing to me. All these years, his spirit's still around. And not just him, folks. Many other great brothers and sisters. And just think about that. It's amazing. You know, so thank you, Malcolm. And I'm gonna let Malcolm outro us out, and stay great out there. But, you know, my current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, brother and sister all over the world, may we all please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever we are right now. Salute.
That whenever a people come to the conclusion that the government which they have supported proves itself unwilling or proves itself unable to protect our lives and protect our property because we have the wrong color skin. We are not human beings unless we ourselves band together and do whatever, however, whenever is necessary to see that our lives and our property is protected. And I doubt that any person in here would refuse to do the same thing were he in the same position. I'm speaking as a black man from America, which is a racist society. No matter how much you hear it talk about democracy, it's as racist as South Africa, or as racist as Portugal, or as racist as any other racialist society on this earth. The only difference between it and South Africa preaches separation and practices separation. America preaches integration and practices segregation. This is the only difference. They don't practice what they preach. Whereas South Africa preaches and practices the same thing. I have more respect for a man who lets me know where he stands.